Imagine going to a concert to see your favourite band or artist. The stadium holds 100,000 people and you all squeeze in there snug in anticipation of the opening act. All of a sudden, the lights come on and there's an announcement. Sorry guys, show's over. Come back tomorrow. Sounds crazy, right? That's exactly what can happen every single time there's a rocket launch. And when it does, we still absolutely love it. It's called rocket science for a reason. We get to see the finished product. A pristine rocket sat on the launch pad looking all smoky and mysterious, begging to be released into the sky. What we don't see is the million decisions that have been made just to get it there. And here's the thing, you're dealing with 100 tons of flammable rocket fuel, enough to literally destroy a small town. You can't play chances with that. So, baked into every single rocket is a set of protocols, basically like gates. And all the gates have to be green before you can launch. Not mostly green, not pretty much green, 100% green. Now when something flags up, and it will, you don't just pack up and go home. That's when the team gets to work. And we're not always talking about catastrophic failures. Sometimes it's a pressure sensor that's given a reading just slightly out of the acceptable range. Sometimes it's a propellant temperature that's crept just a degree or two in the wrong direction. Sometimes it's something so small that it actually seems laughable. Starship Flight 12, over 1 million people watching, the most advanced rocket ever built, fully loaded with fuel and sitting on the pad, was ultimately brought down by a single hydraulic pin. A pin that holds the rocket steady on the mechanical arm before it launches. It failed to retract, the arm couldn't clear the vehicle, and that was that. Goliath brought down by a stone. The largest and most powerful vehicle ever built, grounded by a pin. But that's exactly the point. When you're dealing with 100 tons of flammable propellant, there's no such thing as a small problem. Now here's something that confuses first-time viewers every single time. The countdown clock stops. You're watching it tick down, 60 seconds, 50 seconds, 40 seconds, and then it just stops, freezes, maybe for a minute, maybe less, maybe more, and then it starts again. Then it stops again, and you're sitting there thinking, what the bloody hell's going on? That's called a hold, and it's actually one of the most important parts of the whole process. Baked into every Starship launch is a built-in hold at T-minus 40 seconds. That's launch terminology for 40 seconds before liftoff. T stands for the moment of launch. T-minus means the time remaining before that moment. That hold is where the team pauses, checks every single gate and works through anything that's flagged up. Minor sensor issue, they'll try to clear it. System not responding optimally, they'll attempt to bypass if it's safe to do so. And crucially, they can recycle, reset the clock back to T-minus 40 seconds and try again. During Flight 12, they did that 5 times. I actually posted a short prior to Flight 12 predicting there'd be around about a 30 to 40% chance that it would get off first time. New booster, new ship, brand new launch pad, new ground infrastructure, all of it being tested simultaneously for the very first time. I expected problems, but knowing something might happen and watching it unfold are two completely different things. Here's what it actually looked like in real time. Holy shit, 1 minute. Okay, we're holding at 40 seconds. This is normal. Please don't be anything. Yes. Oh shit, 35 seconds. Oh, back to 41. We've got another hold. And we're counting again. Come on, keep going. 35. Back to the hold. We're counting. 30 seconds. Oh, they've reset again. The clock has started. We're below 30 seconds. Mother. And then the final hold came, and it just stayed. 30 seconds, a minute and a half. And I remember thinking, they can't keep recycling forever, and here's why. That rocket is sitting there fully loaded with cryogenic propellant. The longer it sits, the more it warms up, and the more it warms up, the more it boils off. There is a window, and once that window closes, it doesn't matter how minor the issue is, you're done for the day, unfortunately. And slowly, for me, that realization crept in. It was chalk, it was done. And here's the thing, I wasn't devastated because I understood what just happened. That pin, the one that brought the whole thing down, that was the system doing its job, catching something before it became something worse. That's not failure, that is a system working. So that is the 101 of the most anticlimactic thing in rocketry, the scrub. In fact, you're not even meant to say that word, it's bad luck. So careful around the rocket community using the S word. To the casual viewer, it looks like a complete washout, and I get it. 4 hours of your life you'll never get back. Nothing happened. But here's what actually happened. A system so complex that it has a million ways to fail, caught something, flagged it, and stopped everything. Because better to find a problem while it's on the pad than discover something when there's payload on board, or worse, people. So the next time you're watching a launch and the clock freezes at T-40, don't groan, lean in. Because you know something that most of the people watching don't. Flight 12 scrubbed on day 1 with 1 million people watching. By the time it launched the next day, 350,000 of those people did not return. They missed it. And if it does scrub, don't worry. It'll launch. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will launch. And when it does, you'll have earned that moment. Far more than the people that only showed up just for the fireworks. Thanks for watching. Take care, Godspeed, and be lucky.